G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel Bonsai Works. I'm David. I'm into the summer months now, so I'm doing a lot of decandling of my black pines. So this black pine, I'm a little bit behind this year because which I'm not too worried about because I've had a very cool wet spring, and only now the candles are starting to push a lot, so I've got time to do it. This tree is quite a nice little tree. It's got more of a kind of literati, but it hasn't been styled for a long time. I'm going to restyle this tree as well in this video. The first thing I'm going to do is decandle the tree. So I'm going to go through this tree and cut out the current used candles. I'll also actually look for any areas where there's 3, 4, 5 branches in the one spot, cut them back to 2, things like that. So I've got to do the maintenance work in a way on it first before I do anything else. So that's the first step. Going to go through the tree and decandle it. And I'll bring in close up and show you what I'm doing, what I mean by that, how I decandle in December for us in Melbourne here in Australia, in the Southern Hemisphere. That's our summer month. So decandling is all about looking for the long candles that have grown this season. In this case, there's one in here. You'll see there's needles at the base here. That's from last season. And then the candles come up and being this long bit here. So I cut this right back down to that point where the old needles are from last time. That's pretty much it. You cut that off. That's a decandle. Can't decandle the tree. Take off the candle. So I pretty much start at the top. I cut every single candle off. I don't leave the small ones, medium ones, whatever. I just cut them all off. That will eventually balance the tree. I'll also needle pluck at the same time to just bring back some of the, even out, sorry, the needles on each branch. But I won't do that just yet because I'm going to redesign the tree. But first things first, I'm going to go and decandle, take all the candles off from last season. The new candles from this season. Just come in and cut them all off. No matter if they're small, big, whatever, it's all going to be gone. The point of that is that where I cut by April, May, or the autumn months, I'll get multiple new buds in those cut spots. So I'll get from that spot, I want 2 new ones because that will mean that I'll have another 2 there coming out of it instead of 1. That was I just took the candle off. So I cut the candle off the 1, and in that spot I'll get 2 for next season. That's what the whole process is. So black pines, you do it twice a year. You pretty much work on them twice a year. In summer, decandle them, and then in autumn, you bud select back to 2. So I'm just going to work my way through and take all the candles off. And we'll come back and have a look at how the tree looks. Okay, I've gone through and decandled the tree, cut all the candles off, the new candles for this season. You can see it's actually reduced quite a bit in size, but it's actually quite full and bushy still. I cut areas that I could see back to, instead of 3 in one spot, back to 2. So if there was 3 like that, I cut the middle one out usually and left the 2 side ones alone. So that's the kind of things I did now. Let's have a look at redesigning this tree. It's a nice oldish tree. It's got nice rough bark and peeling bark, which is really good. The Nabara is interesting. It's not 100% the best, but the majority of the Nabara is on this side. There's nothing really on this side of the tree. That's an important point when we're looking at the front of the tree. We want to show this off. So anything looking at the front from this side or this side is pretty much eliminated. Really, I have 2 choices, either something in here as the front or something on the other side. But that's not the best either, Nabari. And this area is incredibly straight as well. That's the other negative. This area here is quite negative. I'm tempted to actually, my initial thought is somewhere in there as a front, but the tree needs to eliminate this negative part. The reason I say this is negative is you can see it's quite straight. Very straight, uninteresting, no taper. How do I deal with it? For me, it's a simple rebalancing the tree, realigning the tree slightly. The Nabara is good on this side. I really like it being on this side. The tree is a little bit too forward. If I put it side on, you'll see probably coming a little bit too forward, so I want to fix that up. But this we need to eliminate. And the way I do that is I just need to tilt it. I think I just need to tilt it a little bit, just to eliminate the actual straightness of that tree, straightness of that branch, the trunk. Now let me just check it. Yeah, so it's got a bit more of a, it's got now a bit more of a lean. So the whole tree's leaning a bit that way. Probably have a, end up using this branch as a long one down here. This is short on this side, and the tree can be styled that way. That's my initial thoughts. Something in there, sorry, something in there. I think I've pretty much labelled that around there at the front. So really the decision is one of the best parts. The Nabara is here, nice old trunk, decent movement. The bad parts need to eliminate that, fix up this straight part. The branching's easy. The branching we can move, manipulate, bend into place wire quite easy. That's not the issue. So branching we can deal with, not a problem at all. So I'm going to start wiring the tree, and we'll see how we come up with a design for it. I'll start with this branch first and work my way through the whole tree. You can start to see the work that's been done in this area. Starting to layer up the branching. I've got a layer down here. That's looking really nice. First one. I put a little one in here just to give me more a bit of depth in this area. It's a very unusual branch, but I want to keep it just for now. It looks pretty good there. Makes a bit more fuller pad. Then I come up to this pad here, up into this section, and then I've got the back area just to give it the depth it needs. So I'll try and do a spin around so you can see the back as well. It's different levels, different areas. And I think somewhere in there is going to be a nice front, actually, at the moment. Looks quite nice. This sets the kind of the lowest level we're going to go to, the widest bit we're going to go to. So everything else has to be within that perimeter of the tree. I am lacking maybe a branch in here. That we'll see how we can do with dropping some of these branches. I'm going to try and bring this around a little bit. Just work on different using the branches to fill in some gaps. It's nice to have some space as well, but things can be moved around quite easily and fill in the gaps as we need them. So off I go. So I'll probably now work on this branch here. This is the next highest branch, so I'll work from the bottom up. So lowest branch first, then the next one, and I'll keep my way going all the way up to the top of the tree. So that's the approach I take. And like most people, that's a nice way to do it. You should just be able to see some branching poke its head out just out there, which is good. I want to try and see a little bit of it, get more dimension and back branching area. So we'll work on this branch now. I'll try and need to bring it down a bit and pad it out. Again, creating pads, wiring, creating pads. That's pretty much how I do it. So I'll continue to wire the tree, finishing off this branching in here. If you can kind of see how nice that is, making a very nice big pad, number of levels, different levels all the way through the tree. I've also started to try and fill in the space that I need in here. Now, I'll twist this around and hope you guys can see I've actually bent this branch around and around here and put it in this place here, put a pad in here alongside this branch where there's a big space. I will be moving all the other ones, but I want to show you at least that first one, the big kink. It starts at the back, but now it's finishing on the side of the branch, on the right side. So come back around. You can see it's sitting here nicely in this position where it needs a branch. So that's the way I've been able to eliminate that big negative space, that needs some sort of foliage. So being able to put that in there and looks quite good. I will now maneuver a lot of these branches around. This one's got to come around as well into here. So this one's going to be bent around into here, filling in the gaps and continue to fill this gap. But that's pretty much removed that issue that I had with this tree, about this big gap in here. Placing this one in here, bringing some more around, and we should be good. So I'll continue wiring the tree. So I've gotten a lot more wiring done on the tree. Now, pretty much the whole top area here has been wired. There is a bit of heaviness still in this tree. I haven't been able to film because you can see the wind is a bit out of control again, but I'll keep persevering with trying to get this tree completed and videoed for you guys. So really, it's come along really well. My only issue at the moment, you can't really see it in the camera, but if I try and turn it around, you can see the heaviness in this area here. From front, you can't really see it, but that is a massive amount of heavy foliage. Too much foliage at the back there, which has been causing me, because I hate to remove branches. Really, I didn't remove hardly any branches on this tree. only a few twigs in here and there, but really haven't removed much, just wired everything. But this area here is causing me grief. So what I normally do is I put it back before I finalize my cutting. I put it back to the front that I like, and you can now probably see the heaviness in that area. It's not that clear. It's not that you can't really see through. It looks a bit heavy and dense in that area. So sometimes what I like to do is cover it with a tea towel and just trying to make out if it looks better without it. So you probably can't even notice much difference, but definitely looks thinner at the top, which is what I want it to do. Doesn't need to be as dense. So I think that's definitely going to be removed. So I'll be going ahead and removing that. So the lesson here is I don't remove until I'm absolutely 100% sure that I don't need that branch. And that's what I've done here. I've gone, I really don't need it. I've covered it with a tea towel, making sure 100% that I don't need it, and now I'll remove it. So that was how I go about trying to design a tree. Also, I need to look at, there's some possible areas that are a bit dense still, a bit of density in here, but if I remove any of these, I'll have a bare spot. So I've left a few branches here and there. I've got to thin out a bit of these needles, so I'll do that, but I'll remove that back branch now. So I think I'm finished with the initial styling of this tree. I'm happy with the result that I've achieved in its first go. It's got the shape and symmetry that I was after. It's got the nice cascading branch of that lower branch. It's got a slight tilt on the trunk, and now this part is actually tilting a little bit this way, slightly more this way. So it's good. Still not 100% happy with this area, but it is what it is for now. I can't really do much about it. Maybe eventually a branch can fill in that spot, but there's nothing really around at the moment. Still got work to do, but I want the tree to recover. I want to be confident that it's going to be healthy, recover well, bud up, bud back, etc., new shoots, etc., so on. The apex does have a little bit too much foliage still, but I've left that on purpose because I'm not going to go and cut back heavily just yet and leave bare spots. I want to make sure I get buds and new buds and to cut off other branches and so on. There's no rush to to finalize this tree. In time, I think there's this part is also a little bit heavy around here. This branch in here, there's a branch at the top here that I don't really like 100%, but I'm leaving it for now, and let's see how this area develops. Love this branch. There's a couple of things at the back on this branch. I'm not 100% sure of this branch in here and that one at the back there, but again, leaving it for now. But overall, nice symmetry in the tree, nice movement, different angles, different proportions. It's not like a left, right, back tree. It's actually got a nice branch here. It's got a branch that protrudes a little bit out here on this way, and a big branch. It's got some nice, different angles and symmetry. So pretty happy with the result. I like the new front. Give it a little spin. And there you have it. I'm pretty happy with the tree. Repot it maybe next season when at the new angle. Hardly, it's only a slight change, but yeah, going to do that. The pot's not too bad for it. I like the round drum pot, so it looks good. But other than that, pretty nice result. Hardest thing with this was trying to find the front, really. Everything else was just wiring. So hope you enjoyed that video, guys, and happy new year to everyone, and look forward to more videos in 2023. See you then.